Question everything, for the truth shall not be televised, and that's for sure. Well, the migrant so-called, crisis, really outrage, is hitting the needle on the head when it comes to this reality. You know, it's got the country sort of divided in a sense. Where are we going with it? How is this even possible with this reality of the border and how many people is coming over at 800%? That's how much is past 100% of people come over, 800%. But this is what they got going on, and voters' rights don't really matter. They want to talk voters' rights, and they want to talk, hearing the people's voice, but people already spoke on this and been speaking on it for the last couple of years. They don't care about the people. That's just the reality to it. You don't allow 8 million immigrants to come into the country without no resources for the citizens to be able to cope with it. You just don't do that. These people supposed to be Harvard, Yale, Princeton students. These supposed to be the great thinkers of our day, the intelligent people, the intelligent ones. And they don't know these things. They know exactly what they're doing. The key is we not hold them accountable to these decisions that they're making as we the people. Because they're doing this stuff on purpose. They can chuck and jive and play these games like they don't know how to fix it. They knew they was going to do this. You got video out there of Biden and them talking about this being a Latino country in a few years, on stage speaking on it, talking about everybody else is going to have to conform to them based off of that's how many are going to be in the country. This was before the border crisis. So they knew they was going to do this. They knew they was going to influx the country with this many people. But they didn't influx the country with their wealth, which in the form of resources that they have. They didn't give back some of these trillions and billions and millions of dollars that these companies and these families behind the government is sitting on to be able to influx into the communities of the United States citizens to be able to combat the resource problem that we're faced with now based off of 8 million more immigrants allowed into the country. How did that work? Not to mention, how do you do a background check on citizens of America but don't have a background check on the people that's coming into the country? How do you do a background check on the citizens of America to see if they can qualify for a job or a career or a bank loan, and you're not doing that for the immigrants coming over? How is that even fair? That don't even make sense. Right now, if I want to put in for an application, they'll do a background check on me. Literally. To see if I have any felonies, to see if I have any past criminal history, all sorts of stuff they would do in order for me to get hired. But they got all these people coming from this other country, 8 million of them, and ain't none of them getting treated like that. How does that even work? How do the citizens got to go through this trick bag of employment, but the immigrants don't? These are things that scratches my head a million times on just not understanding what this is all about, other than what I know. And that is that Aboriginal Negroes of America is the most hated in the country, as well as the most hated around the world as melanated people. I know this to be 100% the truth. I live it. I don't need nobody else to tell me anything. I live it. I understand it. I've seen it ever since I've been born. The hatred for just what I look like. Not who I am, not what I'm about, not how I carry myself, but just because of what I look like. But this is the reality. We're dealing with people coming into the country that don't have to be judged the same way we're being judged as Aboriginal Negroes of America, thus being put ahead of us, given rights and given resources and benefits that they don't even deserve, nor do we owe them. We don't owe them nothing. Not to mention, they're coming from their country. Why they not putting boots on the ground to make their country great? Why they not out there protesting in their country, out there boycotting and doing things in their country to make their country better? Why they running to America? I don't understand that. Where's the back spine? Where's the backbone of these people coming into the country to want to see their country be great? And then they get to America and then they run around with in their cars with these big flags and all sorts of stuff, and all having all this great honor for their country, but they didn't stay in their country to help their country become better. I don't get that. I'm here with my colonizers every single day. The people that came with a history of destroying my people, enslaving my people, rewriting my history, changing my identity, taking me off the land that I'm already on psychologically, and I have to deal with that. I can't run nowhere. I'm being mass incarcerated to you could possibly name it, to the millions when it comes to my nation. Most of my men are demonized and destroyed based off of just growing up trying to make it in ghetto slums and hoods. Instead, they're getting processed and sent through the prison systems just unimaginable. Pushed as criminals by criminals that came and took the land and never ever been brought to justice for it. Kept everything they stole and then passed it down to their inheritors to be able to control and manipulate the system that they created off the backs of my people. But we still here. We ain't running nowhere. We still faced with it and have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Even though you can look up the Federal Census of Ethnic Hate Crimes that we are #1, we still dealing with it. And we don't get no justice for what we've been through. We can't get reparative justice for what we've been through. But we're still willing to push on. We're not leaving the country to go seek asylum nowhere. Nor is we trying to make any other country great other than the one that we're standing in, which is our own homeland. So for me, I don't even understand how 8 million people is running from their own country and their own kinsmen and their own fellow citizens to come to another country, complaining about their own country just to get here and then wave flags in our face that their country is the greatest. Then why didn't you stay there? Why didn't you stay there and make your country great so that way you don't have to seek asylum nowhere else? That's what I don't get. How are you leaving a country that you and your family and your people and your nation and bloodlines control 100% from the government to the medicals to you name it? Why are you running from your own to come here when you should be at home dealing with your problems in-house to be able to clean up your home and your land to make it as great as you need it for you to stay home? That's that reality. The Aboriginal Negroes don't have no other home other than the United States, which is the Americas that we are from. That's just what it is. We can't go nowhere else, nor do we want to go anywhere else. We at home where our ancestors been for thousands of years, regardless of what Afro-American, Afro this and African that they try to sell us that trick bag of lies. We are at home. And we're getting more aware of that we are at home through the researching that we're doing on our own, that they've been covering up for years after they stopped us from reading for 200 years to rewrite our history and rewrite our identity into what we see, all confusion right now as we speak. So no, man, is they looking into any type of recourse for this? Because at the end of the day, they're bickering and pretty much almost at arms amongst each other as the United States when it comes to this situation and crisis of the immigrants coming into the country. How do you feel about what Texas is doing? Is it right for them to be putting out razor wire to be able to stop these people from coming in? Is a country if it can't protect its own borders? These are questions that need to be answered. And where are they going when it comes to all these people coming into the country? What is the real blueprint behind the scenes? What is these big Fortune 500 companies and families that got all the wealth behind the government is saying in Joe Biden and them ears to have this type of stuff being manipulated into where it's going? These are questions